Hello and welcome to another episode of Dave Trippin. This time around, because I've been going through the process of trying to find a better job, I wanted to talk about what is a better teaching job in Japan? What does that even mean? What is that compared to? Why is it better? Not just simply based on the monetary aspect of things where it's probably better because it pays you more. I wanted to go into all these details. So while being hungry and on a low glucose level, I'm going to do the best that I can without being too fragmented. I would say the better companies or better jobs that you can get that are available to you are ones that you are going to work directly with either the BOE or with an eikaiwa. The reason being that if you work directly, then you're not going to have to worry about somebody taking some portion of what you are actually worth. You're not going to have to worry about someone essentially middlemaning you, which is what happens when you work for a large dispatch company. They're going to take a portion of what you are worth to dispatch you out to whatever said school. So that's one of the basic reasons that I think it's better. Not only that, something I've harped on about before in previous episodes, but it's worth mentioning, is obviously when you work directly with the Board of Education, when you work directly with an eikaiwa, it's not hard whatsoever to get above the required number of working hours that they would then assist you with your health insurance. Health insurance is such a big concern here, because the cost is significant. Not so much do you realize that in the first year because you don't have any taxes. You don't know how much it's costing you. But then once you continue into your second year, and if you were to continue with the dispatch company that continues not to help you, it's something like 192,000 yen, and you don't get a penny of that, any help with it. Whereas with these other places that you're working directly with, you're going to have 50% subsidy on the cost of that. So half. It's like they give you 100,000 yen raise like that because you're working directly for them. Another reason I would say that these jobs are better is that because you work directly with them, you have more of a direct relationship with them. There's not so much of a barrier between you. Now, not every teacher is going to be like that. Some people are going to directly connect very easily with their schools, and that does happen. But here's a good example. With whatever the contract name is for these dispatch companies that they usually have, it's that the school can never directly tell you what to do. It's supposed to be to the dispatch company and then to you. Now, what that means is it kind of makes the school feel like they have to walk on eggshells, especially when they're just getting to know you. Not so much in the later years if you stay, but they're worried that, oh, how much can I ask this teacher to do? What is right? What is wrong? And it makes them a little bit paranoid, and it puts up this bit of a barrier to develop a better relationship to begin with. And so if you were to work directly for the Board of Education, that's not there. You are a full member of staff in the eyes of everyone there, insofar as you know the language and like any other human being would try and connect with them. But that's really, really important. Other things that you can do, basically really, really important. If I'm going to talk about this, how can you find these jobs? Because the simple place that everybody goes is to Gaijin Pot. Funny, because when I was back where I'm from, I searched on Craigslist, so I didn't even know about Gaijin Pot, where I now see that Gaijin Pot is like the number one that people go to. But that is kind of a double-edged sword. All swords are double-edged, but it cuts both ways, in that if you're going on the Gaijin Pot, you're going to have a huge amount of competition usually, as one might expect. So I would like to suggest a few other ones. There's another really, really good resource, still popular, but not in the mainstream consciousness like Gaijin Pot is, that it's called Ohio Sensei. And this is another jobs list that you can use, which is really, really handy. Now, beyond that, what I would actually recommend doing is if you can develop a really good relationship within your first year or 2 years, say you want to stay at the same school for whatever reason for 2 years, is developing a relationship that is so good with your school that you could then either to the Kyoto Sensei or Kocho Sensei or the teacher you work most closely with, you could A, ask them, would you guys consider speaking to the BOE to directly hire me? Or if they don't feel comfortable with that and you don't want to maybe put them on the spot, you're like, that'll make them feel awkward for saying no. It's hard to judge each individual situation. So maybe that's not for everyone. At the very least, you could ask them, do you know of any job opportunities or any areas around here that are looking for direct hires into the Board of Education? And you could get some cool help with that. That's actually what I got at one of my schools. I mentioned to them I needed to get a reference for one of the jobs I was applying to. And they said, oh, you're trying to work for the BOE? Yeah, of course we'll give you the reference, but did you know that this other Board of Education is hiring as well? It's like, what? No, thank you so much. So that's another route that you can go, which is really, really handy. The schools, and they're good people. They're going to want to help you. So through your schools is one option. Through Ohio Sensei, you can find them. And although it's a little bit more of a task to actually find these, navigating through the sites that are majority in Japanese, not surprising, you can look up the Board of Education for whatever area that you're interested to work in and see if they have any kind of job postings. And these job postings are going to occur around this time, but sooner. A lot of the deadlines end up being at around February 10th-ish. Some of them go beyond this, but if you start looking around this rollover time where this term is now ending and they begin in April, you can go onto these sites and find them. So that's another way that you can find them. A note that I would add as well is that a lot of people, I don't know what it is, maybe because there's a lot of shittily run ones. When people say Aikaiwa, which is essentially a private school, a privately owned school, that shouldn't get quite the negative reputation that they have, because every one of them is different and you can find really, really good ones. So if you've heard like these rumors about, oh, don't go for Aikaiwa, just don't go for a shitty Aikaiwa. You can find a good Aikaiwa. It doesn't have to be bad. I've noticed that there seems to be this sort of stigma associated with working for one where that's so silly because there's hundreds of them and they're all different and they all have different staff and business practices and yada, 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 yada. But there you go. I haven't even, so I mentioned you're going to get paid more. You're going to get benefits from them. You're going to have a more direct relationship with the people that you work with if you don't go through it. And there's these various places that you can find the jobs on. There was one more, I can't remember the link to it. I might still put it down below if I can find it. But yeah, if you have any more questions, there's also a few websites that are really good. You can, final note, you can get raises, like standard expected raises for working directly with the BOE. Huge. You're not going to find that often in the dispatch companies, and you really have to claw it from their cold, dead hands before they'll give you a raise, because you're cutting directly into their profit margin that they're making off of you, which is so funny because it's actually what you were worth in the first place, but you don't get paid that because you have a middleman skinning you. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video in the dying light. Please do like, subscribe, comment, and share, and a big shout out to all the subscribers, old and new, who've showed up to support the videos recently and in the past. I just really appreciate it. I can't believe it. The channel's grown into a sort of cool little mini project now where I really didn't imagine it. My goal initially was get like 100 subscribers, and obviously I continue past that, but now it's really good. And it's well worth saying thank you. It's well worth saying thank you. I really appreciate it. Cool, so also if you get the time and you're interested in games, check out my Let's Play channel. That's going well. We're playing Life is Strange there right now. I'm almost done. Interesting game. All right, catch you guys later. Thanks for checking out the video. Thanks for tripping with Dave. Ciao for now. Peace.